Do, do. What is up, brothers? What is up? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport. We are here. We are here for another classic future Passport Bro show. First and foremost, let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Who is here in the building? Phil, how's my audio, bro? Is it good?
Oh, it's good. I can hear you. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Who else is here, brothers? Type of 1 in the chat. Checking my so we have 14 people watching so far. Ozzy in the building, Joshua in the building. Awesome. So let's get straight into it. Okay, first and foremost, I want to say again thank you for the support over the past couple of years. Your support is greatly appreciated. Second of all, get me to 100 followers on Kick. Okay, we're almost there. We're at 53. If you want that Germany and Spain live stream, you gotta get me to 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. So go and do so. Follow me on Kick and follow me on Twitch. That would be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, join a Patreon for intel on travel, foreign women, etc. And as you know, Python course coming Q1 next year. So preparing for that. Aside from that, procure IT consultations with me. Copy your merch, etc. And support the channel throughout today by hitting a super chat and the PayPal donation, and of course liking the streams, whether you're watching on Rumble, Twitch, Kick, or YouTube. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so the title of the stream is a lack of a black first world country holding black men back. Okay, so why have we decided to do this stream? Okay, well, first and foremost, okay, so I was in Japan recently, and I was having discussions with a Japanese guy, okay, and we were talking about race, and he admitted to me that a lot of Asian people, a lot of East Asian people, Japanese people do white worship, and I asked him, okay, why is that? What is the main reason why Japanese people white worship white people? And he said to me, Japanese people respect the fact that European countries are first world countries and developed and are clean and are not third world. I was like, that's interesting. And I told him, right, okay, so what do you think about black people? Because Africa is essentially a third world country or a third world continent. And he said that personally, he likes black people. He loves, he said he likes, certain parts of black culture. But he admitted that in the wider scheme of things, Japanese people, right, when they see Africa, when they see black people, they think of Africa and they have a bad image of Africa because it's not developed. And that kind of proves my point on this channel. So throughout the years, right, I've been saying to Theo and brothers that, we need a first world African country. It's imperative if we're going to move forward as a collective of men, in the geopolitical scale all around the world. Okay, it's all good if we're IT bros professionally, individually, doing well, etc. But what about the grander scheme of things collectively? Okay, remember, in this world, having collective power is very important. Now, when we look at Africa, Africa is unfortunately not doing too good. Okay, overall, there's wars, there's ethnic tribalism, there's religious wars, etc. What we're seeing in Sudan, what we're seeing in Congo is very upsetting. Okay, as black men, as Western black men, okay, something isn't going right with us when it comes to collective power and collective global image. Okay, so let's break it down even further. When we compare the state of black men to East Asian men, to Chinese men, to Korean men, to Japanese men, okay, they come from countries that are first world. Okay, they come from developed countries. Look at what South Korea is doing or has done or has produced. Look at what Japan has done, is doing, or has produced. China, do I need to say any further? Okay. Having a first world country back black men, I feel, in my opinion, is what we are missing, okay, to take us over the edge. Okay. Now I know that many of us are from America, from the UK, from Canada, etc., etc. But originally, those are not our ancestral homelands. And when I say that, I'm referring to thousands of years ago. We all come from Africa, whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're UK Brit, whether you're American. Our ancestral homeland, where we're actually from, going back generations, before slavery, before Jim Crow, before the white man came over and took us away to Europe, etc., and Americas, it's Africa. Okay. And Africa right now is nowhere near where we want it to happen, where we want it to be. Okay. So let me tell you, right, the importance of having a first world African country. Theo, before I even break it down even further, Theo, on my statements there, do you want to add to that? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts here, Theo, so far.
No, I'm waiting for you to really make your statement. I want to see what you're saying.
Awesome,
So
bro.
continue. Go ahead.
Thank you, Theo. So the first positive, right, acclamation or positive attribute to having a first world country backing you is, let's keep it real, dating. Right, I'm a real with you. Okay, having a first world country back you, right, as a black man will help you for dating prospects. We're men, we like women, we want women in our lives. It's that simple. Okay. Now, I remember, right, many years ago, okay, China was a third world country. China wasn't doing too good economically. China was a poor country. Okay. And women in the UK would never be seen with a Chinese guy. It was either a white guy first, then they couldn't get a white guy, it was a black guy, and that was it. Okay. Now, with the rise of China, with China becoming a first world country, with China building robots, self-driving cars, having a booming economy, producing billionaires and millionaires, right? Their options of women have increased tremendously. Now, come to the UK, and this might shock you, but you're going to see a lot of Chinese guys with good-looking women of all races. I'm keeping it real with you, okay? It is the fact that China has become a first world country that it has improved the Chinese man's dating prospects, not only in the West, but even Africa too. There's black women that are going after Chinese men in Africa, surprisingly. Okay, so let's be real there. Okay, women are not silly. They know what's going on. They have social media. They're aware of things. Okay, and women are going to see that, oh, these Chinese guys, China is rising. They're seeing Chinese guys come to the UK. You're going to see Chinese guys, right, in Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Women see that. Okay. So when you're back with a first world country, your dating prospects improve. Theo, do you agree with that, or do you disagree with that, Theo?
No, I definitely disagree with this one, because if that were really true, then when Japan basically became a first world country, all the Chinese guys would have gotten chicks, and that didn't happen. And even the Japanese guys weren't getting chicks either. So you have basically, particularly in the late 80s, early 90s, Japan was very, very strong. And you didn't see them going and slaying in London or New York. That's just the way it was. So just because they had a very strong country doesn't mean that suddenly they're like very high on the dating prospect or the mating archy. Get a 5'10" Latino will beat an Asian guy nearly every time. Now, regarding right now we're having with China, remember, if you really talk to the Japanese about what they like, and what they think about Asian, what they think about racial hierarchy, you know who's at the bottom?
Nope.
Chinese and Koreans. And this is why, you know, if you look at their rights in Japan, they get crapped on the most out of any other nationality. So just because China is industrializing doesn't mean that Japan is really respecting them. If they were respecting them, then they wouldn't do the Yasukuni shrine problems every few years that they do, and direct, which is a direct insult to China and Korea. What the Japanese still do it, they don't care. So if you look at the conditions of Chinese and Koreans in Japan, it's not good. It's not a good situation at all. So just because you have one country or even a few countries doing well, it doesn't mean that those guys are going to go high in the social hierarchy. As it'd be like saying, you know, because the UK is rich, that Russian men are going to be popular globally. They're not. They're just not. Russian women are popular globally, not UK women, but Russian women are, because, you know, Russian women are sexy as hell. That's the way it works. But it doesn't work that way. Now, it would help if Africa, especially when we're talking Africa, we're talking about Black Africa. We're not talking about Arab Africa or the Afrikaners and English in South America. We're talking about black us group. Yeah, it'd be great if they can get to a true first world condition in at least one country. Yeah, that'd really help things out. But I mean, again, Brazil isn't entirely first world. I wouldn't say they're first world, but everyone wants to date a Brazilian. You know, they're doing very well. So
Okay, so but on the white man part, right? Okay, actually, no, still on the East Asian part, right? Against South Korea. Okay, many years ago, again, South Korea was a poor country. Okay, now with their economy emerging as first world, with them producing Samsungs, with them producing world-class Korean dramas, Korean songs, with them, I've been to South Korea myself. It is an amazing city, amazing country when it comes to tech infrastructure. And we're seeing Koreans men's dating prospects skyrocket. A lot of women want a Korean dude. Okay, that is the effect, Theo, of having a first world country that's backing you. When women see a Korean dude, when they think of a Korean dude, they think about Samsung, K-pop, a clean first class infrastructure. A lot of women want to go there to teach English and meet Korean dudes. I was in Korea last year, bro. White women, Theo, white women lining up for Korean dudes. I could not believe it, bruv. Top notch white woman, right? Wanting a Korean dude in South Korea. That's the effect, Theo, of having a first world country that's backing you, Theo. And we don't have that as black men. So Theo, go on,
but
bro.
you have white guys, you have white women in Japan who would like to date a Japanese guy. The Japanese don't care. So just because they're there for the guys doesn't mean that the guys are there for the women. It doesn't really, the dating market really doesn't work that way. So I mean, are the Korean guys going for these white women? Not really. Because they're going for prospects in Philippines, Thailand, or South Koreans themselves. That's what their actual preference is. Now, I will say that there is a big thing with K-pop, right? But again, no, no Japanese man ever had a foreign harem because of Sony and Nintendo. All right, right. So you have Pokemon. Yeah, you have like Pikachu, right? You've got think about all the anime you've got, right? Gundam. Those guys, they weren't like, going to New York and saying, yeah, wow, Pikachu this, honey. No, that did not happen. All right. So just because they're first world doesn't mean that they're actually doing what you think they would be doing.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, so you froze.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Okay.
I totally froze. So just as I say, just because you have the first world country doesn't mean necessarily that they are super popular, particularly women. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You got UK women, right? First world. Do you have lots of guys flocking to go marry one of them? No, no, not at all. So it's not really the way it works. Now there are some Chinese, of course, who are getting some girls around. Yeah, that's really true. But let's look at the guys who are really the popular ones. You got your football players. Again, play in the European Soccer League, right? Sorry, European Football League. Those guys are going to get more women than the Chinese guys, no matter how rich they are, right? You got a 6'3" African guy who can run the pitch correctly. Oh yeah, he's going to be super popular. So the athletes, they're the ones who usually get the first pick, and they tend to be first Black, African descent, and then they have white people after that, and then actually Latino and Asians. So yeah, I don't necessarily agree that the first world country status will help. Although it help with our self-esteem, of course, that would be great, and it couldn't hurt, right? But yeah, there's a lot of other factors going on here.
But let's move on to the white man part, right? So again, the white man, right, has multiple first world countries, and there's a reason why. Let's keep it real. A lot of Asian women, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, just want a white guy, and I'm resigned to that, and I know why. Okay, they see countries like Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, etc., Sweden, even America too, run by white people, world class infrastructure, world class products, within these first world countries, Microsoft created by white man, Tesla created by white man. So when you have a first world country, you can create first world products. Okay, and the white man is the CEO of these countries. The white man runs these countries, the majority population of these countries. And guess what, Phil? The effect of that means that the average woman, brother, of all races, let's keep it real, wants a white man. Let's keep it real. Asian women definitely want a white man. Black woman, in the West, in Africa, want a white man. Let's keep it real, Phil, bro.
There are more people living under Asian government than there are Europeans. So it doesn't mean that suddenly the Europeans want an Asian man. We just look at populations. China by itself has more people than all of Europe. So if you combine South Korea and the rest of Southeast Asia to it and put Malaysia, Indonesia along with it, you've got way more Asians living under Asian rule than you have Europeans living under white rule. They don't care. It's not the thing. It just happens to be that the Europeans tend to be a bit taller than the Asians, which gives them an edge in the dating market. That's all. And the Asian women tend to be a bit more feminine and demure compared to European women, gives them an edge in the market, right? So when we're talking about Africa, right? If you're talking about like Africa, look at how many people under African rule, and it looks despotic. And yeah, I gotta admit there are some some issues there. Yeah, that's definitely true. And it would be better if we could get a first world country in Africa, right? But being that as it may, basically it's how you play your game in the West or in Asia or Latin America or in the world that'll determine whether or not you actually get the woman.
But guess what, right? Having a first world country, right, is a what's the word for it? Is an indicator of success. Okay, and when we look at why a lot of Asian women go for white men, why Latina women love white men, they see white men as successful, and where does that success all come from? Feel coming from first world countries, right? Let's keep it real, feel right. They go on Google, they type in Germany. They see Germany, oh, first world country, nice trains, infrastructure, buildings. They type in Sweden, nice trains, buildings, etc., etc. They type in an African country. They type in Ghana. Oh, they ain't got no trains in Ghana, or it's not as developed as in Europe. They type in Uganda or Congo. Oh, there's always a war there. Blah blah blah. They're still developing. They need China's help to build buildings. They need China's help to run the infrastructure. They need China's help. Whereas they type in a European country, it's clean, nice tall buildings, skyscrapers. That gives a white man status feel, bruv. That gives a white man an aura of success. And brother, we see that feel, right? That's why these Asian women, right? Japan, Korea, Chinese, on average, they throw themselves at white dudes. And we don't have that kind of success aura to get these Asian women or Latinas like that feel. Hold on, Phil. I'm not saying we don't get women right. I'm not saying that, Phil. I'm just saying that we don't get as much women as a white man, right? We just don't, keeping it real. We don't, bro.
Well, okay, we've talked about this on a few other streams. Part of this is because Black men or men of African descent overwhelmingly choose Black women first, and then after that, they usually choose white women. So in that area, especially since so few of us, particularly Black Europeans or Black first world men, we don't travel that much, then we don't get to see what the options are abroad. So we're not traveling, but Scandinavian men are traveling. Englishmen are traveling, right? Australians are traveling. Then, of course, they're going to get more women abroad. When I was, in the beginning, when I was in what was called a Gaijin house, I think I was the only African American or the Black Western man in there. And there was like 24, 25 foreigner Westerners. Well, you can't, if it's just, let's say that there were like 15 Western men and I was one of 15, everybody else was white. Well, of course, the white guys are going to get more because there's more of them, right? So if you get more Black men going abroad, then you'll get more success. But as long as they stay home, they're not going to get as much success. That's the way that one is. You can't stop that one.
Okay, Phil. I disagree on that point there. But next point here, right, is in regards to self-esteem. Okay. Now, having a first world country will boost your self-esteem as a man. I think we can agree on that, Phil, as men. Knowing that where you come from is a first world country that has developed, that has world-class trains, that has world-class companies, world-class infrastructure, that's going to boost your self-esteem. And there's a reason why the white man is so confident, in how he lives his life, Phil. There's a reason why the Chinese man is growing in confidence nowadays in how he lives his life. There's a reason why the Black man does have confidence, but there's some cracks there. Because when we really peel the layer, bro, okay, right, and we see, our, Africa, right, it's third world, bruv, But whereas a white man can walk around chest out, yo, my nations, European nations are first world. European, Norway, Germany, Finland, etc., etc. Everyone wants to come to my country. That's how they think. Let's keep it real. Tonight we are going to peel the layer back as if it's an onion, bro. Line by line. Okay, we ain't missing no onion peels. So for Black men, right? So if you're right,
think
as
about it.
Black men,
Hold on, no. Let's think about Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe's number one export outside of military is people. People are leaving Eastern Europe, so it doesn't matter if they're white or not. You have a few countries in Western Europe which have a glamour status, and they're usually related to colonialism. So you have France, but if you go to France, you can't live there. Then you have the UK, but if you go to the UK, you can't live there. Even me, with my $600,000 a year salary, I know I can't live in the UK. Then you have Germany, all right? Germany, flattened by World War II, separated in two. It's really not as glamorous as it looks. All right. So yeah, these first world countries that you're talking about have declining populations, huge budget deficits. Of course, they have nice train systems, but you don't have that many people men, particularly getting married there. Marriage is on the decline. So just because they're coming from the men from this area doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to get married or they're going to have some sort of magical fairy tale like Disney ending. And then you look at the United States, our infrastructure is crap compared to Europe and particularly Japan and China right now. China on the coast, on the East Coast, is by far more developed than most of the United States. Right? It doesn't. Oh boy, did I just die?
Yeah, it's all blacked out like Darth Vader.
I don't believe it. Okay, well, this is weird. It doesn't, just because just because you have, so China having this infrastructure doesn't mean suddenly, oh yeah, everybody's going for Chinese people. Like you want to get married, people want to get married to a Chinese man because they have good train service. It doesn't work that way. No, man, no. If that were true, then like half of Japanese men would have married white girls a long time ago. And because they've always had the great infrastructure since the 1960s. They had Shinkansen, right? And all kinds of, like, their systems is actually very good. But it's not the way it works. They did not get like that kind of reward at all. So they have a better posture, but that's about it.
But we live in a social media era, feel right, where information moves around very quickly. So back then, right, obviously, we knew that these were first world countries, but we didn't actually have a proper insights. So if you couldn't afford to travel to Japan, even though you're European, you didn't know how Japan looked like. Whereas TikTok is big now, Instagram is big now, so you can see how they look. You're going to see the Shinkansens, the first world infrastructure and buildings, and that's the allure of these first world countries. Whereas they look at Africa and Caribbean and they see a whole bunch of third world stuff, they're going to keep away from that. They're going to pin down black men. Because guess what, right? It's men that build. Women didn't build Japan to where it is right now. Ain't no woman built South Korea to where it is right now. Ain't no woman built China to where it is right now, or any European country. Men built it, right? Men build first world countries. So we're saying Caribbean and Africa, these are majority black countries that are still third world. People are going to pin down black men. They're thinking, whoa, black men aren't building. Black men are not building. What are black men doing? And that's going to have a bad image on us and reflect badly on us as black men. And we see that feel, right? We get women right, but we don't get, in many cases, right, we don't get the woman we want. For example, when it comes to Asian chicks, the white man gets the Asian woman left and right, as if it's like, some sort of video game. Whereas a black man can get an Asian chick right, but maybe one Asian chick every 2 months. Whereas a white man, he gets it every day, bro.
Okay. So just go to Japan. That's all you have to do. You get plenty of women you want. It's not hard to do. I got them. I was looking at my Facebook. I just posted 11 albums with me with a Japanese woman. I mean, there it is. She has a ring on her finger, right? So getting a Japanese woman or getting someone is not that hard to do. You just have to go there and make the effort. And if black men aren't making the effort, then they deserve the criticism or the lack of results afterwards. Now, I will say this. When I was in Japan, most of the foreigners, compared to white people, Africans in particular spoke Japanese by far better than the white guys did, the Europeans did. So I correspondingly saw a lot more Africans getting married to Japanese than I saw Europeans or American white men doing this, or any kind of European whites as well. And that's because the European whites would go there for a while and then leave. They wouldn't stay there, but the Africans were there and they were speaking the language. They usually got the girl. So basically, if you put the time in and put the work in, of course you can get the girl. And just because you're white doesn't mean necessarily you get the pick of the litter. Nope, it's not the way it works. In any country in the world, they have to improve themselves. They have to go out and
Come on,
do
we know that's not
something
right.
to make it happen.
Big cap.
Yeah, it
Come on, baby.
is.
Come on. If you're a white man,
No,
feel
it's
it's
not a
easy.
cap.
It's easy,
It's
bro.
not
It's
a
easy,
cap.
bro.
It's not a cap. It's not a cap, and not a cap at all. They have to put in work as well. That's the way it is. They can get some. They can get some women, but the same black guys get some women also. It's not hard. Learn the language, and you will do by far better than most foreigners do. Wait,
Okay. All right. So Sophia, right. So I also feel like, with the whole first world, third world stuff, right? That kind of also plays into colorism too. So again, from speaking from a Latinas perspective, Asian perspective, other countries' perspective, right? There's a reason why, pale skin, light skin is seen as desirable or easier for men to get women if they're light skinned or pale skin. Because again, it appears that the first world countries feel, right, are pale skinned people, like, East Asians, white people, okay? And that kind of can rub off to brown skin, light skinned people. There's a reason why, like, someone like, Chris Brown would be very popular with women, right? He ain't white, but he's still very light, okay? So um that can he can actually use the white success or the Latin success to his advantage. Whereas if you're dark skin like Akon, right, you're gonna have a hard time dating around the world because guess what? Africa, Caribbean are full of dark people, okay, and they've not built their countries to a first world status. And there's a reason why when we hear from Asian people as to why light skin is so valued over there, they say that okay, dark skin is linked with poorness, it's linked with lack of development, and that's coming from third world countries feel. So you see how that can actually impact just everything in your life feel because your home background
no,
isn't up there, bruv.
no. Remember the singer Seal?
Yeah, I remember him.
Have you ever heard of him? Yeah.
Yep.
How was he light dark? Was he light black or dark black?
But he's famous, Theo, bro. Come on, he's famous.
No. Goes
Theo, the
against what
average.
you're saying
Come on,
there.
Theo. If you're an
No,
average
he's a
guy,
good
brother, hold on, Theo,
example.
right? Theo,
What
if you're 5'6",
what kind of woman did he get? Who gave birth to his three kids?
Theo, bro, if you're 5'6" and dark,
A
you're gonna have a hard time, bro.
Victoria's Secret's model
He a
gave
singer though,
birth
bro.
to
He's famous.
his three kids, right? Well, you're saying basically that a white guy 5'6" can get his wife,
Yes,
and then
yes,
being he being dark can't get like a village girl in the middle of Cambodia, and that's cat.
correct.
That's crap. No, that's not the correct way it is. No, that's not the way it is. You need, again, go out there, learn the language, get your success up, get your money up. Then you'll have by far more success. That's the way it works. But if you don't have the money there and you don't have the language, you don't have the skill set, it doesn't matter. Women are going to see you getting as lame globally. And for you guys in the chat, I'm going to challenge you. Do you put the time in? Do you actually do the work? Let me tell you this. I'm learning Spanish, is one of my languages. Do you guys have books? Do you have tutors? Are you putting in the language, putting in the time to learn the language? Or are you doing BS with apps and you're illiterate? You can't read anything. You can't properly communicate. You can only use present tense and a little bit of past tense. Because if you're doing BS work, you're going to get BS results. You need to put the time in. That's the thing. You put the time, you put the work in, man, it is so easy abroad. It is simple. I'm serious. It's just simple. So again, if you guys are talking like I can't do this, I can't do this, I'm gonna look you right in the eye and say, where are your books for learning the language? What have you done? So if you're complaining because you're an illiterate foreigner who can't get top level native women, that's on you.
Okay. All right. So Now, Phil, there I disagree with that, Phil, because I'm talking from a normal man perspective. It's still going to be hard, Phil, if you're of that ilk. If you're not famous and you're not a certain tone and skin, height as well, will be harder a bit, right? But now, I feel I want to talk about, in terms of respect. Okay, respect. The black man doesn't get respect worldwide because his countries are third world. That is an absolute fact. Like in South America, in Asia, in other continents, they don't respect black men because black men have not built first world countries in the Caribbean and in Africa. I'm telling you, right, our fortunes will change as black men worldwide if there's at least one first world African country, okay, that also exports a product that everyone uses all around the world. Is there a single product created by a black country that everyone uses? No. Koreans got Samsung, and most people use Samsung.
Gold. We have natural
Uh,
resources. Yeah, natural resources,
Bill,
quite a lot.
Okay,
Yeah, well,
that's
I'm
fine.
just saying, you got natural resources. Yeah, it's huge. People use it globally.
Yeah, that's fine for you. But okay, how about in terms of like famous companies, like names, right? Samsung, Korean, Japanese, Nintendo, Sony.
That's
Everyone knows that.
just a cope. That's just a cope. 100%. That's
Let's
just a
keep it real,
cope.
Phil. Hold on, Phil.
That's trying to live life on easy mode. That's like basically a Japanese guy landing in Los Angeles and saying, "Look, I got Sony and Nintendo and Gundam. You blonde bees better be blowing me right now." That's not what happens. That's not what happens at
But
all.
Phil,
It's not like,
I'm
okay,
saying respect.
the MVP, the national baseball league MVP again for the third year straight as a Japanese man. Does it mean that all Japanese men are suddenly getting laid globally? No. Nobody's batting an eye on that one. No one's saying like, oh yeah, I gotta get me a Japanese guy. J what? A J guy right now. I gotta get what? I got a J Chica and J guy. Nope. Ain't happening. I just but no one's going out. You don't go to Manchester, they're all looking for Japanese guys right now. Nope. So just because some guy is getting recognition and they had coming from a strong country doesn't mean that they're having that wider level of sex appeal. Now, when
But
you're
Phil,
talking about think about it. I mean,
I'm,
what? Do you see all the
I'm
girls
talking about. I'm saying about respect, Phil. I speak about Phil, like literally when it comes to respect and building, not dating here, Phil, but building and respect. As I was mentioning, right? So the white man can say, "We got Microsoft, we got Tesla," I feel these are products I use all around the world. Phil, is there a black Tesla? Is there a black Microsoft? No, there isn't. African countries, Caribbean countries, they use Teslas and Microsoft. So basically, two things here, right? Caribbean, Africa, third world countries. Number two, they don't build products that are used all around the world and are known. So people are not going to respect us for that as black men. Whereas the white man gets respect because he has first world countries and products that are used all around the world. And I don't feel right. And even though sorry, right, yeah, and even though right, Japanese
Japanese
guys,
guys are not
I know your
going
point
around
there.
getting super laid by Sony,
Theo,
Nintendo, and other such products.
Theo, remove dating out of the equation here, right? Even though, right, Japanese guys ain't getting laid, they have the respect. Japanese men are so highly respected all around the world, Theo, because yes, they are. For building, they build, Theo. They build. Many people respect Japanese.
Men are respected all over the world.
Yes, Theo. Yes, they are.
I would no.
They,
I would not say that. Nope. Although they don't have our image, they don't have women like taking off their underlings and throwing them at them and saying, "Please impregnate me." Ain't happening. No, it's not the way it is. Same with Chinese. This other guys who say Arabs the same way. That's not going on, even though they have oil and other products. It's not the way it is. Basically, sure we do as black people we do have an issue with our countries. Yep, that is true. That is definitely true. But when it comes to the dating market, when we're actually going out there and making it happen, we have a lot better position. I would
I
much
disagree
rather
there.
be. I'd much rather be a 6-foot educated black man who can speak the language than be like a 5'7" white guy or a 5'7" Asian guy.
I just feel,
Dude,
I
I'm
feel,
I'm
feel
much more aggressive there. 6 feet will beat it.
different time. I think that, but feel in 2024, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Feel in 2024, black men have fallen behind Asian men. So, in my opinion, it's white men first in dating, then it's Asian men, then it's Latino men, and then it's black men. Let's keep it real. I think
That's
you have to
that's something that you're seeing in the West. You need to go to Japan for a few years. You don't
even
see
in
a lot of
Japan feel,
You don't
bro.
see a lot of Chinese guys getting married in Japan. All right, black guys per capita and per number get married by far more than Chinese men do in Japan. You need
Okay,
to go there, learn the language fluently, and then see what happens.
Theo, I'm talking globally, Theo. I'm globally and on a global scale of things. The lighter you are, the better you're going to do in dating. I think
I
that's a
wouldn't
fact
say
there.
that.
I think
No,
that's a fact, Theo, right?
for
So
women,
basically,
yes. For women, yes. But I would say for guys, man, dark men do very well, extremely well. We're well put together. We have wonderful manners. We understand women very well. All we have to do is go there and be prepared. As long as we're prepared, oh yeah, this is going to happen. It's not going to be an issue. But if you go there abroad and you're just going around and saying all the white guys are going to get laid, and I'm not going to get anything, not going to happen to you. You have you cannot be thinking about what white guys are doing. I don't even care. It's pretty much like if you're in Japan. Let's say you're in an area in Japan where it's like 500,000 Japanese women, and there's about, I don't know, 4 white guys, and then you. That's it. That's about all you have. You have 5 foreign black guys. You're thinking that basically all 4 of these white guys are going to get 500,000 Japanese women.
they
That's
will.
not going to happen. No.
I think
Oh
they
my
could.
god.
They could. Theo,
The,
I think they could. Theo, you got to bear in
uh-huh.
mind that Asia is a whitewashed nation. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
even
Yeah,
I saw in South Korea.
they don't have enough time to do that. It's impossible. There's so many opportunities you would have as a black guy in that environment. I wouldn't even care about what the white guys are doing. I'd be out getting my own. That's fine. I can compete with white guys, no problem. I'd go toe to toe with them. I have no problems with it at all. You just, if you're talking about a lack of confidence, that's all.
It's also the ease of dating for those kind of men. So yeah, black guys can get women right, but we find out white men have it very easy. They just got to show up. Just be white. JBW, just be white. No, Theo, this is the reality of what's going on amongst in society and dating nowadays, brothers. Right?
I've been
Just be white.
abroad. I was abroad 20 years, about to go out
And then
again. Yeah, when I
for
was in
black men,
Russia, I was the only guy in my group getting Russian women. I didn't have any problem. When I was in France at the Sorbonne, my American friends weren't getting any women in
yeah,
the Sorbonne. I had no
for,
problems. I spoke French fluently. I got
for
no
black men,
problems with
right?
it.
For black men, right? Oh wow, you better not be dressed like a bum as a black man. You better have a nice lineup so we can see your lineup and your square around your face. You better smell good. You better have a nice smile. You better have this, better have that. So you have to have a lot of things. You gotta be a well-groomed man. Whereas a white guy can be scruffy
So,
looking.
you're saying like a white guy could be scruffy looking and look like a
Bro,
bum that
I
came
was just
from abroad?
I was in Japan, brother, the other day, Phil, right? I saw white dudes that look like bums with good looking Japanese chicks. I'm thinking, how did he get her?
Uh-huh.
Brother, I
Uh,
saw it in South Korea. I saw it in
I
Panama.
saw African construction workers with beautiful Japanese wives, and they came home stinky. I remember because I was living next to one. He didn't look that good. He came home. He still had a fresh meal when he got home and a beautiful Japanese wife. So it's there. You go to Japan, go there longer. Don't go there for a week or two. Go there for a year or two. See it. See what's there.
Okay. All right. So last point here, right? Okay. In regards to how not having a first world countries holding us back. is in terms of the whole power dynamic in this world. I've always said to Theo and brothers in the chat, right? This world is truly a Game of Thrones book or TV show, right? Multiple power plays are being made, and black men are not in those power spaces. Because if you have no first world country, if your GDP is garbage, if you have no strong military, if you don't produce great companies, people are not going to want to hear your opinion when it comes to the grand scheme of things. So right now in 2024, it's the white man and the Chinese man and the Arab man, in my opinion, that are making the big power moves in terms of, who wants to actually dominate, the world and make, and actually run things. The Chinese man wants the throne, right? The white man wants the throne. The Arab man is creeping in, to make that power play. What are we doing as black men, man? We have to start thinking like this, but because I don't want to be at the bottom, right? And we have to start making power plays, and it all starts from home. Build a first world country, right?
You
Build
have to think
high
about.
class
You have to
companies.
think about where your assets are. Your first asset is that you are British. That's a huge thing globally. Now you're Black British with a British accent. So huge in the dating market. You need to use that to your advantage. I've always said to you, you could do by far better than I do with your accent alone globally. I don't have your accent, right? So you gotta think where your assets are, where your value is, and move on from there. Regardless of what Africa is doing or other African countries, it really doesn't matter. When you're talking about micro interactions with other people, if you're fit, if you're educated, you're speaking the language, and again, this is I'm going to rely on BGS, what BGS states. If you're spending a little bit of money on the women, you'll be fine. One of the things I've always seen, particularly if we are in Japan or other countries abroad, is that the white guys do indeed pay for the dinners. They pay for the dates. They pay for this and that. And it's part of the reasons why it's so easy for them to go ahead and get these women. Black guys don't. They're known as being stingy. They don't do this. And if they're not doing this, they have an issue. When I go abroad, do you think she pays for her date? Do you think we go 50-50? No. I pay for the entire date. It's not an issue. I don't think it's simping. It's just what I do. I don't want there to be a complication, so I make sure I pay for the entire date. If you're doing that, you're going to get along so much better than other people. Hold on, I gotta react to this in the chat. So hold on, I gotta react to this real quick. It says there's no such thing as a Black British. Look, The Rock. If you're a guy like IP, you're Black with a British accent, and somebody in Japan or less of Asia hears a British accent, they know you're not American or African. They know you're British. So they're going to call you a Black British person. It's the way it is. Like I will get called an African American because they know I'm not British, I'm not European, and I'm not African. So they're going to say my race and my nationality will go together. Or they might just say my nationality and not even care about my race. This is why I say Black British, because IP has a British accent. And I saw guys like him in Japan slay in the market because you're erotic to most Japanese women. They can't find a guy like you, Black guy, your height, your ability, who actually has a British accent. Yeah, they go crazy over that. Well, you just got to go out there and have the confidence to actually go talk to them. If you don't show up, and the white guys do, the white guys are going to get the girls.
But remember, Theo, right? So when we talk about dating, right, and paying for dates, right? Remember, the white man has a lot more disposable income than the black man, Theo, to be spending women.
Please,
Come on,
no,
Theo.
no,
Rich parents, rich family. Let's keep it real,
capping.
Theo, man.
I make $600,000 a year, and my parents are dead. I got no inheritance. I paid for their house and I paid for their funerals.
Collectively,
I got nothing.
Theo.
So
collectively, white people got more money than black people. White men, they do feel. And I'll tell you why, right? Theo, when I travel, Theo, wait, hold on, bro. Phil, wait. When I travel,
Now
Phil,
you're
right?
dealing with a white
Phil, I'm
inferiority
on the plane.
complex in your head.
Hold on, Phil, bro. Hold on, Phil, right? When I'm on the plane, Phil, right? Okay, I hardly see any black men on the plane. It's all white people. When I'm going to countries, come back home to the UK, it's all white people. And that kind of proves my point that white people have a lot more disposable income than black people to be traveling and spending on women, Phil, and dates, all that stuff. So you can't blame black men, who don't have the funds and means to pay for dates for a chick, because it's hard for a brother in many cases, Phil, bro.
No, it's not hard for a brother to do that. All you have to do is work on getting your income up. IP, you have got to focus on this. I didn't let anything stop me. Again, I was homeless and had cancer. I went from $23,000 a year to $600,000 a year in 10 years. Nothing stopped me. I didn't have parents. They're dead. I had debt. I had medical debt. I had to keep on going. You don't have medical debt in the UK. It's all free. You got hospital for free over there, right? Yeah, I put in the work and I got the return. If you guys aren't putting in the work, then all you have is copium. You're just looking at other people and say, because I feel pity me while I'm not putting in the work, these guys get it easy. And that's BS. Man, you got to put in the work and say, I'm going to go whatever the price is, I'm going to go out there and get it done. That's what I do, and that's what you guys got to go do it too. Right now, I'm learning Portuguese. I'm also learning Spanish. I'm planning an invasion of either Colombia or Brazil. I don't know which one it's going to be. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing when I get over there. Do you think I'm going to have a problem getting a woman there? No. I'm not even going to be looking at white guys. I'll be like, look, I can slay you guys in a second. I don't even care. I'll go and get top-level women there. Not thinking about my age, 51. I'll probably be 52 when I go there. I'm not thinking about any other attributes at all. I'm looking at like, look, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I bring to the table. You look like you're a sexy young baby. Girl, I'm going to go get you. That's it. That's all you need.
Okay, man. I'm just saying, feel like it's, there's factors that are really affecting black men, like a first world country, opportunities, racism, how people perceive black men is, and it all ties, especially if you're very dark as well, and you're short and you're skinny, it can be tough as a brother.
You have to forget all of that and go on your best traits and then build yourself. If you're skinny, go to the gym, start eating protein. If you're big like I am, hit the gym too, do a good cardio, get your body back together and do a calorie deficit and you'll be fine. Do some intermittent fasting, you'll get back into it. Either way, there's ways of changing and going out there, increasing your cash flow. This is what the RP tells you to do. If you are basically going abroad as a blue-pilled guy, of course you're going to get slayed out there. You are the target. You are the guy who's not going to be successful. Good. Guys, go get some Rollo Tomasi. Go get some, what is it? Alan Roger Curry. Go get him as well. Go study their materials, what they have, and you'll be just fine abroad. It's not going to be an issue.
Okay. All right. Let me read the super chat. And before we say our closing statements, since I'll write to some clips. Shout out to Mr. Activo for the support. I think that's from Norway. Shout out to Norwegian brothers. Famous, if it's him selling mangoes. I don't get that, bro. But shout out to you for the support. Shout out to Jackhead for the support. IP, you are correct. The black man will never get respect until we build our black Qatar, Singapore, Dubai's facts. We have resources, but we do not control them. Theo is wrong. But where's our black Qatars, bro? See, the Arab man, right? He don't have no nukes. He don't have a strong military, but he has multiple first world countries, and he gets a lot of respect. He gets respect in Asia, in Europe, right? Well, where's our Dubai, bro? Where's our Singapore? Where's our Qatar? That's what's holding us back, Phil. Do we not want that, Phil?
No.
I mean,
no,
hold on, Phil. Hold on. Sorry,
no, it's not holding us back at all.
We can't keep right on. We can't keep riding on this R&B and rap train and soul music train to give us status all around the world. That's not go away.
You have to ride on your own strength and your own successes, not on other people's successes. That's a weak position. And the jughead, one, even if you were a billionaire, you would never get laid because you're a loser guy. So the way you're talking right there, you like, I can't respect you. You're going around saying, oh, because of other people, you can't get this or that. Yo, bro, that's how a loser thinks. Go out there. You don't care what happens. Go make yourself and go find your own success, despite what other people are. I don't care. Go get it done.
Shout out to Jacko for the support again. Appreciate you, bro. IP, you are correct again. Who cares if Asian men do not have women throwing their flipping pants at them? Asian men. Oh my god. Yo, Asian men are not the dude on camera. And this is vaccine, man. Asian men are they're too busy building Sony's, Nintendos, etc. etc. Wow, as black men. So basically, when non-black people put on social media, they're seeing black men dancing, black men rapping, but they're not seeing black men building. But when they see the white man on social media, they see the white man is showing us AI in Tesla, showing us AI in Microsoft.
So you're talking about the problem of a media controlled by white and black women, white men or white people and white and black women. We don't have our own media, and in the manosphere, we have consistently stated that we need to have our own media so that we can control our image, right? So you're talking about an image problem. That's it. So it's other people, again, that we can't. If other people are showing that about us is not building, doesn't mean that we're not building. We're building. We're going out and doing stuff, right? But if white people say, hey, look, we're going to get more views if we show this guy as being a social degenerate, and we're not in control of that area, what can we do? Nothing much, right? So we just have to keep on grinding and keep on going out there and showing our work, going on YouTube and media and saying, this is what we're doing. And when we do that, we actually can change the narrative. We ultimately, though, we have to be able to get our own media house. That would go a lot further.
Facts. Shout out to Jocko again for the support. Thank you, bro, for the support. Like dogs and the latest are let off with a slap on the wrist. This world respects power and prosperity, not pants being thrown at it. Facts. Power is what runs this world, not how much woman you get. Power. We don't have that. We have some sort of social and cultural power, but we don't have that, power like the Russians have, like the white man has, like the Indians have, or the Arab man has when it comes to economic sphere, and when it comes to actually, saying policy on the world stage, or even the Chinese power. China's got a lot of power nowadays. America's scared of China, So we don't have that kind of.
We're not scared of China. We're not scared of China. They make our takeout for us in our shoes. We're not scared of them. We're very much in control. Our military can knock out China in seconds if we need to. I'm not worried about it.
China got nukes, Phil, so I don't think China's gonna, allow.
We can take them out. We can take them out. Not worried about that. Russia, we can't take out Russian nukes, but it doesn't mean that we respect Russians either. So no, it's not the way it works.
Shout out to Mr. Keith Jenkins for the support. Good live session. Thank you, Keith, for the support. Much appreciated, bro. So there's a comment here, right, that says, let me see. Let me bring it up. So Arab men have better dating prospects globally than black British men. Yes, they do, because Arab men have the image of wealth and being oil money rich, etc., etc. Every race of women knows so when every race of women thinks of an Arab man, they think of oil money, billionaire, rich, big cars, riding on camels. That's the image of Arab men. What's the image of black men around the world? Rap.
Really? So you don't have the image stuff. of terrorist groups, of suicide bombers, or like of Afghanistan, of destroying girls' schools and taking away civil rights, or Iran, or most of the Arab world, and women have to go around in burqas. I'm sure the blonde babe with a D cup in Manchester really wants to go around in a burqa for the rest of her life and not be able to drive a car because she's living in the Middle East with her handsome Arab husband. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they have their
Qatar,
deficits as well. They have their issues. Qatar is not all of the
Dubai,
Middle East. Come on, man. You know that. You know
Qatar,
that.
Kuwait,
They're not
Kuwait.
all of the Middle East. They're not all
Okay,
of the Middle East. Oh, because of Dubai, I want a Syrian man whose country is on fire and then who swam across the Mediterranean in order to declare himself a refugee. Oh, yeah, I'm sure the Swedish babes just want to go crazy on him. That's not happening. That is not happening.
okay. All right, fair enough. And so it's not all doom and gloom here, but a first world country will help black people. I'm going to continue. I'm going to always say this, right? Okay, I believe that black men have some sort of superpower, and I know that sounds crazy, right? But we don't have a first world African country. We are without a doubt the least powerful men in the entire world when it comes to economics and when it comes to actually policy and having power in general. But we still get women. That right there is a superpower. So what happens when, hopefully, in our lifetime, first world African countries start to emerge, right? How much women going to want us even more? So you see, we still have something going on for us. We have some sort of superpower. How are we getting women? Things are really bad for us when you put it in perspective. Right? We have a horrible image worldwide. We have no first world African country. We are the least powerful people, and we still get women. Okay, so let's just get it, man. This Africa rise, Caribbean rise. Let's get it, bro. Please, you know.
No. Well, the big thing that you're not talking about in this entire conversation is why isn't that Africa countries don't have a history of capitalism and of stock markets? That would be the main first question to ask. Because if you're actually going to start talking about wealth and power, you need a properly functioning stock market. So, does Black Africa, does it have that? Like a real powerful one? No. The countries that have the strong ones are Japan, China, Shanghai, Frankfurt, London, New York, and I would say Chicago with the Mercantile Exchange because it's #1 commodities trader in the world. So those are the big markets. You've got the six big trading markets in the world. Africa doesn't have one. So if you want to actually get Africa industrialized, like you really want to do something, we need to have an area where we have a proper stock market, which also means we have to have a proper infrastructure for stocks to be effectively traded. Does Africa have that? And at the current time, no. So that's where we need to first work on. Until that happens, we're talking about a pipe dream. Nothing gonna happen.
Shout out to Jughead for the support. Theo, I need your respect the way I need a suntan. LOL. Awesome. Okay. So let's react to some interesting articles and clips from this week. Okay, great discussion there. You want to speak on that? You want to see that? You want to reply to that? Sorry.
I'd say, bro, you got respect from women like the level that I need a suntan. Yeah, you're just you're going out there being a loser, bro. Level up your game. You go to Japan, you're not going to make it at all, or in other countries, you have to really up your game. You're in this victim mentality. It does not work globally.
Okay, let's work on that, brothers, because it's looking spooky out here, man. I want power for black men, for brothers, and let's get it, man, because it's looking too spooky out here, bro. So the first clip of today, okay, let's react to a very interesting clip about a woman who made a mistake of having sex before marriage and the implications of doing so. Okay, let's have a watch.
Because our culture is trying to.
Okay, so let's break down her statements here, and let's go on from there. Okay.
We're so confused because our culture is trying to tell us that we should be able to have sex and not care afterwards. We should have sex because we want to have sex for our own pleasure. My friend FaceTimed me leaving this guy's apartment, and she's like, I texted him to come over last night, and when I got to his apartment, I asked him to come down because it was a dangerous area and I didn't feel comfortable and it was really late at night and I wanted him to like come downstairs to like walk me up to his apartment, and he wouldn't do it. So she went up to his apartment, they hooked up, and then she's calling me the next day listing a few different points throughout the night that made her feel like he didn't care about her. Like he
Of course, he wouldn't feel right. So two points here, right? So she's saying that how dangerous area. He didn't come downstairs, to pick her up to his place. Well, your jump off, your hookup. So he doesn't really care about your well-being like that. Number two, okay, he doesn't really care about you. You're just there for pleasure. You see, and that's a problem there when you're sleeping around, okay, without any intention of dating or marriage. Okay, you're going to come across people like that. So why should we feel sorry for women, right, who make the wrong choices every single time? Stop following this liberal idea. Keep your legs closed, be patient, and wait for the right man. What's your thoughts on the comments so far, Theo? Damn.
No, I mean, you're entirely correct. So she's not getting the right respect from the guy, then she shouldn't be hooking up with him. Why was she up there in the first place? So this woman, and she's talking about how, like, basically, women shouldn't be hooking up so much before marriage, which I definitely agree. And she made a choice to go up there. She made a choice to hook up. That is her decision. And if she got disrespected afterwards, that's on her as well. What she needed to do is go do something else. Don't be with that guy. It's like me. If I'm with a woman who apparently is just using me for money or just wants me for my money, I keep on walking away. That's it. Just very simple.
Facts. Absolute facts. Let's carry on.
He didn't value her, just using her. And I said, you want him to see you as an object. You don't want him to see you as a friend, as a girlfriend, as a wife. You want him to see you for your body. You are seeing him for his body. Those are the boundaries that you guys have established. We're taught nowadays that sex doesn't mean anything. So why does it hurt so bad when somebody uses us for sex? My friend went into the night thinking, I'm doing this for me. I want to feel good. But then you're upset. My friend called me another time. She slept with this guy on the first date because they had both been saying that they want a relationship. They stayed up all night talking. They both have had really hard lives with their parents and specifically their dads, and they bonded over that. And they had sex. And then the next day, she didn't hear from him all day. She texted him at like 9 o'clock. This is a Saturday. They hung out on a Friday. Didn't answer her for like a whole week.
A week. Again, he's not there. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about how you feel. You're just a jump off. You're an experience for him to keep him happier and to keep him pleasure-wise. Why don't these women get it? And that's the reason why, I just don't. Modern women, Western women are just difficult to deal with. They don't think critically. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think he actually feels about you? And how about you keep those legs closed and get married first before having sex? Do you think that's a fair statement there, Phil? Keep the body count low as possible before even just, marrying?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You have to, I would say to the women, don't give it up so quickly. And if you're doing this, it reeks of desperation. And most men, particularly in the West, will just use you and then go on to the next woman. So don't do that. But they're not. They're going to keep on going. They haven't been. Sorry. They haven't been listening to the conservative side for the last 60 years at least. So. Well, I mean, what else do you do? Just kind of sit back and watch them grow older and die alone. I'm a Gen Xer. I see this happening. I see the younger boomers as well. Same thing. They got rammed through huge end counts. They hit their 60s, hit their 65, 70. No man there, nothing there. No family, not even any children. What do you do?
Damn. Let's carry
And
on.
then she finally was like, "What is your problem?" And he responded saying, "I'm sorry. I should have told you I wasn't attracted to you. You knew. You spent the whole night with her, and he had sex with her anyway, knowing that he wasn't going to contact her after that." And she said the sex was great. She got what she wanted out of it physically. She gave herself to him in that way, and then he rejected her. It would have hurt still if they didn't have sex and he didn't call her after the date, but it would have hurt a lot less. If you go on a date with somebody and you have dinner and then you don't hear from them, it's like, all right. If you have sex with somebody and they don't text you ever again and they told you that they were into you and that they wanted a relationship and that's what they were looking for and they deaded you, I know so many girls. It's crazy. My friend and I were talking about this, and she's a Christian, and she was talking about how maybe there's a reason why God says we're not supposed to have sex before we're married.
Oh my goodness. These women always fall back to religion. That's why, right? Just because you go to church, right, and there's a woman in church, doesn't mean the women there in church are a good woman. Because there's a lot of women in church that have been ran through and they've seen the light, and they come to church and they want a good guy. Don't be the guy she settles for. Okay? Don't do it. There's a lot of women like that. You want to see something, Theo?
Dude, the church was filled with these kind of girls.
Mm.
And we'd just be looking at them like, what's wrong with you? So, you know, the Bible, they have the story of the prodigal son. I say a lot of the women are the prodigal daughters. And they left the house and then they went into the city and, you know, they took their inheritance, their share of the inheritance. And they went out and tricked and spent their money and rode the carousel, did all the kind of stuff. And then they tried to come back home penniless and try to be at the same level that they were before. And I say, that's not going to happen. That's just not the way things go. Again, the prodigal son came back home. His father was happy, but he didn't get another inheritance. You know, he lost his inheritance. He spent it. So that's the way I think a lot of these prodigal daughters are like. And the church is full of them. I don't want anything to do with them. Probably why so many men left the church.
Mm. Facts. So Theo, as a religious man, Theo, right? Would you say religious men should avoid religious women and just go for women that fit your view of life? Because there are some atheist women that are good women, right? But they don't believe in God, Theo. So Theo, as a religious man, how do you balance between, you know, religious women and non-religious women, Theo? Who'd you go for the most?
It doesn't matter at this point because both groups are almost equally feminist.
Damn.
So you have to be thinking about who's going to be good for you in terms of our partner. That's all. You don't say, oh, you're religious. Okay, this is going to be good. Nope, not the way it works. You have to actually vet them.
Facts. Absolute facts. So, brother, you would be an atheist woman.
I was with an atheist woman.
Mm.
Yeah, she was my late wife, Yukiko, was atheist. I didn't have any problems with it. She was. I didn't really care. She was more practical. I mean, she didn't have a crazy encounter or anything like that. She was pretty good. So, but you go inside the churches, I mean, you have women crying, blah, blah, blah. You see their end count, and you're like, oh, man, you know what this game is. You're trying to get a sip inside the church. So, yeah.
Facts. Absolute facts, bro.
Just hearing them talk about all of this trauma that's going on because they have sex with these people that they're dating, and then to experience certain things myself, we're causing pain and trauma on both sides. Men are feeling it, women are feeling it. This is a
women feel it more, actually.
Huge problem. I know that you guys have had crushes on people before you've had sex with them. You know when you like someone, when you're attracted to them. You can tell from making out with somebody that you have a connection, you're attracted to them. You can always have conversations about what kind of sex life you want to have. All of the things I'm observing, are pointing me to believe that even in a long-term relationship where you're having sex with someone who you know loves you, it could still be a huge distraction. I think it's so important to get to know somebody and fall in love with them and marry them when sex is off the table. And so I have made a decision for myself based on my own experiences, my friends' experiences, and reality to not have sex again until I'm married.
So, damn. So, but you know, there are women out there that have just been running through dudes. One day, they thought they met the right dude, screws over. They won't have sex until marriage. And unfortunately, some dudes don't actually wife up a chick like that with a high body count. And, and that's why, right? Like, when you meet women, brothers, and let me know if you agree, Phil, right? Never come across as just judgmental. Always come across as a free, happy, hippie, liberal that doesn't care about, her past or whatever, because that's when women will tell it all. If she knows you're a great guy and, you're not into 3 or 4s, she will lie and try and package to be the woman that you want her to be. Okay? So don't make the mistake of trying to be too judgmental. You can be judgmental, but keep it inside. Okay? Trying to come across as, quite easygoing. And that's when women tell it all. And when she tells you her past, of course, kick her to the curb. Ain't that right, Theo? I would.
Oh, yeah, that's actually rather true. Yeah, I always, my way of doing it was always just sitting there and, just being kind of demure, not saying that much, and sit there and listen to her. And then eventually she would tell on herself, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, really?
Mm,
6 times in one night without protection, really?"
damn.
I'm looking at her like, you guys are nuts. And I was like, "Nah, man, you grossing me out." Again, Kevin Samuels would always laugh at this. So the guy you let smash got you for free without any work, and then you're gonna declare virginity, and then this other guy gotta work hard to be with you. Like, that's just ridiculous. And that Christian guy deserves better, 100%. And what the Christian guy is getting inside the church is a joke. So there's no reason for him to stick around, as far as I'm concerned. He should go someplace else.
Facts. Absolute facts, man. Absolute facts.
The peace of knowing that I will never be used, I will never be played, I will never be led on or tricked or manipulated when it comes to sex ever again is the most freeing thing. And I know there are not a lot.
So the guy she's gonna meet in the future has to wait a year or 2 years before he gets the goodies, right? But she's been given it out before the decision not to do it before marriage. You see
Right.
how it works. So you see how these Western women are, right? Avoid them.
Yeah.
So imagine she meets a guy around and it takes 2 years to marry a guy. You tell me that guy has to wait 2 years to get the goodies. Even now I believe that 2 years, right, to get the box is only acceptable if the woman is a virgin. If she's not a virgin, okay, why are you waiting 2 years? Why are you waiting a year? Why are you waiting 6 months? Hell no, you were given away to dudes before you wanted to get married. If you can't give up to the dude, I think the dude should walk away. You can't just make a choice like that. Either you're a virgin or you're not. If you're a virgin, yeah, okay, how long you want to take, that's cool. But if you're not a virgin and you're holding off the box to a dude, the dude better walk away. What's your thoughts there, Theo?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't agree with that, because there are still various issues you have to consider, but kind of depends on the situation. I would say if she were given, again, Christian girls I knew, inside the church. If she were giving it away like crazy before, and then she like changed her life and everything, just go to somebody else and just say, no, I'm not going to deal with that. It makes life a lot easier. Just say, hey, look, I'm done. Just go someplace else. Or why are you with her in the first place? So you can find somebody who's different, or use your passport and leave. That solves the problem a lot more easily.
Facts, absolute facts. Okay, all right. So let's react to the next clip. The studio. Let's react to this one over here. Video file. So we have a brother who has left the Matrix. He's abroad, and he gives us reasons why he left America, why he ain't coming back. Let's see.
And I've even applied for health insurance. And on that note, that is the first reason why I will never, ever move back to the United States of America. Health insurance. If you didn't catch it earlier, I said that I am currently on the DAFT visa. And if you don't know what the DAFT visa is, the DAFT visa is essentially a visa specifically for not just Americans, but American entrepreneurs. Bearing that in mind, if I were to live in the United States of America, I would not have access to all of these health insurance plans that a lot of these companies provide to their employees, which means that I would have to come out of pocket to pay the full amount. Now, I don't have an exact concrete number for that, but from what I've heard, that could be anywhere from $400 a month to $2,000 a month plus for an entrepreneur to have health insurance. And for me personally, that just doesn't sit well with me, especially since the health insurance that I've chosen to get here in the Netherlands is 122 euros and 95 cents per month.
Wow. So, Theo, that's a huge difference there in regards to not coming back to America. It appears that in America, I'm not American, but America's health insurance is crazy expensive, whereas in Europe over there, he's paying a lot less. Theo, do you think that's a fair point, as to not come back to the States? Health insurance is just too expensive.
Well, you've got expensive health insurance in the UK as well. That's why you're paying 40% of your salary. And part of that is for health insurance. I would say the United States, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's because your copay is so high that your insurance really doesn't have any meaning. Whereas, again, my favorite was Japan. My copay in Japan was like pennies. It was so low. So I remember I broke my arm. I broke this arm in 2004, and I had to go to a specialist for it because it was a pretty bad break. I broke it in two places, and I had specialist, bandages, painkiller, all the stuff. My copay was like $20. That's it, in America. That's not even conceivable. It's absolutely that nobody would ever conceive that. So I just want to say, America really does have I don't know, kind of like a Ponzi scheme when it comes to healthcare. I don't trust the system here at all.
122 euros and 95 cents per month. The point is, as an entrepreneur, I will not have that option in the United States of America. The next reason why I will never move back to the United States of America is politics. But what I've realized is that politics are just a divisive mechanism. Okay, divide and conquer, the most classic, well-known strategy for controlling people that there is, and yet people still fall for it. That's all I'm going to say on that. The politics are out of control, they're extremely divisive, and here in the Netherlands, I can't speak on other countries because I don't really know much about the politics of other countries. But here in the Netherlands, there aren't just two candidates for the prime minister position.
Here, Jeff, you think that's a fair point? So America, politics are very divisive, very cutthroat in America. And there's only two parties we can choose from, which is unfortunate. So if you don't like Trump, if you don't like Kamala, well, tough luck. You got to choose one. Whereas he said in Europe, there's more to pick from. Okay. Is that a fair statement when speaking about American politics? Is it really as bad as it seems?
You can write in a candidate. You can write in Chewbacca. Chewbacca's available. I'm sure he would have run for president. Now it is extremely divisive here. And when I was in Japan, we never really cared about politics. Same thing for Russia. Of course, you only have one choice in Russia anyway. And in France, I never really cared as well. So it is a situation here, I say, in this country. And I don't know how it's going to end up in the end, but I think it's unfortunate.
Damn. Let's carry on.
Which would be the equivalent of the president of the US. In the US, if you didn't know, there are only two candidates and you have to choose. The next reason why I will never move back to the US is gun control. Okay, and here are the facts. Here in the Netherlands, there are not mass shootings. It just doesn't happen here. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't happen in any country, but for most of the Western developed world, the US is far and away the country with the most mass shootings. Now, why is that? I don't know. You could say it's a gun problem. You could say it's a mental health problem. It doesn't really matter to me. All I know is that it happens. A big part of why...
Facts. There's a lot of gun violence in America. And, that gives an unsafe aura and environment. Am I safe in that country? Am I safe in the country I was born in, particularly if you're in a gun carrying states? Now, there can be a debate as to whether, guns should be completely confiscated, which I don't agree with. I think America is a dangerous country in general, and you're gonna need guns there. Okay. However, there's the other side where guns, in the wrong hands can spur violence, and it has done in the past. So I don't blame someone for wanting to leave a gun-friendly country to a country where there's no guns allowed. Okay, what's your thoughts on that matter, Theo?
I think the gun issue is totally out of control and horrible thing in the United States, to be honest. When I was in Japan, I mean, you were just there. Did you ever even worry about being shot?
Nope.
Was it an issue?
Nope.
No, man. You can go out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever. You don't even have to be worried about being shot by the police. I mean, they'll just look at you funny and say, "Okay, we're gonna call 20 other police officers and round you up. How's that?" You're not gonna get away. So, there's no reason to have so many guns. When I returned back to America, I was horrified by the amount of guns we have here. It's still scary for me personally. So, it's an issue, and nobody really wants to tackle the problem, and these people just keep on dying. So it's one of the reasons why I want to leave the country then.
That's a fair point. That's an absolute.
Why violence is so much more prevalent in the US is because of economic inequality, which is the next reason why I will never move back to the US. The US has economic inequality to an extent that I don't think any other truly developed nation experiences. Now, I'm not going to get into the reasons why this is because truthfully, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm 24. I don't have all the answers. I'm not running for president. Like I said, I'm not even voting because I'm not going to be there. But if you've been to the US and if you've been to a big city in particular, like Los Angeles, you know that the economic inequality is unfathomable. Compared to what you see out here in the Netherlands, it is completely unfathomable. And I bring up LA as an example because, like I said, I lived there, or I wouldn't say I lived there, I stayed there for a little under 3 months, and I got a chance to see how you could have a sidewalk like this, for example, be lined up with tents. Okay, lined up with tents. Not because people were camping, no, because people had nowhere else to live, and that's if you were lucky.
Wow. Theo, in the current state in America right now in 2024, do you feel like there's a huge income inequality in America, and that's enough for you to leave the country if you want better pastures abroad?
I think it's a horrible part of the United States and something that needs to be changed immediately. So I live here in Austin right now. This is, don't people who hear this, don't take this badly, but this is something I don't like, and this should not statistically be possible. In my area, there are more homeless and alphabet people than there are children. I actually went around looking at this for a while, actually looking to see how many. And even in my HOA where I live, there's only 3 kids. But I mean, there's a huge number of alphabet people. And, you know, every year that we have Halloween, I put candy out. Nobody takes the candy because there's no kids coming around. And I think this is horrible. Like, you can't sustain a population on that. The amount of homeless people. I mean, I have to be careful about how I drive because, of course, if you hit a homeless person, it's their gravy train. They get a lot of money for that. So they'll walk through traffic, not even care. So I have to actually stop my car and make sure I don't hit one, right? I don't want to have to deal with that. That's not fun for me. I don't like that. So, yeah, I think we need to solve the homelessness problem here quite a bit. And just something like the income inequality is an issue. In Japan, it wasn't there at all. Everybody's middle class. So it's not even their issue.
Facts, absolute facts. And these are great points to live America. So make that trip abroad, and bet on yourself, brothers. Bet on yourselves. Awesome. Okay, so let's react to this article in regards to Tokyo, Japan. Some dark things going on there, and I'm sure this might shock a couple brothers. Okay, so let me bring up the article. Okay, let me see. Present. Share screen. Okay, so it says here, right? Why Japan's Tokyo is emerging as a sex hub. Okay, Tokyo, which is witnessing an influx of foreigners, a rise in poverty, and a weakening of the Japanese yen, is emerging as a sex hub. Experts say that many young women left impoverished during the COVID-19 pandemic are turning to the flesh trade to meet ends meet, which is resulting in a troubling spike in violence. That's horrible to hear. An Asian city is emerging as a hub for sex tourism, and it might not be the one you imagine. According to several media reports, Japan's Tokyo is witnessing an influx of foreigners in search of a good time. This as poverty increases and the Japanese yen weakens. Okay, so let's see. So it says here, but what do we know, and why is this happening? Let's take a closer look. Okay, what do we know? According to SCMP, in the days when Japan was an economic powerhouse, its men will flock abroad. I think we have mentioned that before. Japanese men going to Vietnam, right, and other countries to get their free card. Flush with cash, they would be seeking encounters with women from poorer nations. Now the tables have turned. So it says here, Japan has become a poor country, according to Yoshide Tanaka, Secretary General of the Liaison Council Protecting Youths, etc. This as a nearby park fills with young women waiting for customers even before the sun goes down. Tanaka told the Star he first noticed how more and more foreigners were visiting the park after the removal of the COVID-19 restrictions. We are seeing a lot more foreign men, he said. They come from many countries. They are white, Asian, black. Oh no, black? But the majority are Chinese. Okay, whoa. Tanaka told SCMP a number of women in their 20s are getting into sex work. Wow. So why is this happening? Okay. Experts say there's several reasons. Number one, according to Daily Guardian, this is down to an influx of tourists, a rise in poverty, and a weakening of the yen. The paper said that the COVID-19 pandemic has been a major cause of women going into the flesh trade. Okay, many are seeking to pay off debts or expenses incurred at host clubs. Interesting here. Okay, so Theo, Japan has been there's one over here. It says here. Okay, one of my friends was attacked by a Chinese man on the street a few weeks ago. She said they were talking about the price, and he suddenly got angry and he hit and kicked her. She hit her head on something and had a bad injury. It happens quite often. Whoa! So Tokyo, Japan, brother, is emerging as a major sex hub in Asia. Theo, what's your thoughts about that, bro?
I wouldn't believe this at all, especially coming from a Western media. The amount of foreigners who are going to Japan is actually rather low, and compared to like you've got New York, Pattaya, London, Paris. I mean, just the amount of foreigners there is going to be very low. Foreigners being able to buy box to Japanese women, when I was there, it was unheard of. So I would really want to know what's going on. If Chinese, it actually makes sense. Usually, if foreigners want to buy box in Japan, they buy it from other foreigners, and so there's a system in there to bring in a fresh supply of non-Japanese girls into particularly Tokyo. They have a 3-month visa, and then they're just rotated through. There's a lot of jokes about this in Tokyo, actually, about it. Foreigners being able to buy from Japanese women, I don't think this is happening. If it is, I'd be very surprised that this is going on. If anything, if Japanese women are selling it, they're selling it to Japanese men. That would make sense. That's always been going on. That's from time for centuries. So I would look at it not from a Western point of view, but from an English point of view. And again, someone is saying, I've seen videos of so-called streetwalkers. Yeah, you can see the streetwalkers. They're for Japanese men. Usually, if they're Japanese streetwalkers, they're for Japanese customers. If they're foreign streetwalkers, they're for anybody. That's the way it works. Yeah. So you get this influx of foreigners coming in. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Because you can't. Usually, the crime syndicates are very much in control of the streets. So I'm looking at this like, well, how is this really going to go down? I see this going down.
Facts. And obviously, brothers, my Japan stream is coming very soon. If you want it quicker, get me to 100 followers on Kick, and we'll do Spain, we'll do Germany, and we'll do the Japan streams on those platforms. All right, get me to 100 followers on Kick. I want to do those streams where y'all got support. Okay, get me to followers on Twitch and Kick. 100 followers each. Okay. Now, I will discuss this in my stream coming in the future. When I was there in Japan, I saw a lot of women just standing there in the streets, holding signs, looking at me, trying to draw men in. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? It was a lot more worse than when I went there last year. Okay. And those women were streetwalkers. And, aside from that, the SES culture in Japan is insane, particularly in Tokyo. And I'm going to speak about that in my stream. And you guys, you boys, right, need to vet very, very well when you're in Japan. Like I mentioned, right, a lot of these women will dress conservatively, cover their arms, cover their legs, but they're hiding body counts of 50s, 100, 20, 30. Okay. And it's a very weird society, man. And you don't want to pick the wrong woman because they're very good at hiding their body counts. They're very, very good, you know? So I'm not saying that, Japanese women, are not good. They're still better than Western women, right? But you need to know where to go to Japan, how to vet, learn the language, because a lot of these women some of them are in that trade, and you would never know. You would never know this done in the past. And I remember it kind of shocked me when should I talk about it now or wait for the stream? I think I'll wait for the stream, okay? But yeah, it's a shame that it's happening, but I definitely could see there's a lot of sex going on in Tokyo, a lot. So watch yourselves, man. It's changing. I think it's changing
like
really. Come on, bro.
Well, no, it's not like Pattaya or Bangkok. That's a real market. Like they're just sitting, like literally, you get rows of them. What the question is okay, so if you're in Kabukicho, this is where the main area is for it. Well, remember, it's only one area. Okay, so it's like you didn't see anything like that in Shibuya, right?
I saw in Shibuya, bro. It was in Shibuya. Yeah, Harajuku, Akihabara, woman just standing there in the streets.
Okay, this is new then. This is very new. Because when I was there, it really was only Kabukicho that was actually having anything. And what you had to do was, like, if you were walking through that area, people would come out and talk to, okay, hold on, let me make this. All right. So the hostess girls, Japanese women hostess girls always stand outside of their hostess bars and try to attract customers. That's been there for hundreds of years. That kind of transaction is only for Japanese men. If it looks like they're standing in front of a bar, just understand they're hostesses, and they can be very skimpily classed. They can be very skimpy out there, but that's just the way it is. But they're not doing anything. They're just drinking. You're just being your hostess girl. In Kabukicho, you didn't know what you're going to get into. You didn't know what flavor was going to be there, what nationality. The number one Asian girl who was actually out there as a worker were Chinese girls. There were quite a number of them there. So if you're going to buy services from anyone, it's probably going to be a Chinese girl. I thought that was unfortunate, but just the way it was. So I want to go back there and see it with my own eyes to see what's really going on there, because none of my Western friends are saying like, oh yeah, like in Ebisu or Shibuya, Japanese girls are outside selling box. They're just not saying that. I'm not seeing that. So hold on, somebody's saying, are Japanese streetwalkers rejecting black men? You're not, Ozzy, you're not getting the point. Japanese women are only there for Japanese men. That's the rule. So I want to go back and see this is the real update, because I don't believe it. Because when I was there, straight out, I mean, you can't even get to a hostess bar with Japanese girls if you're a foreigner. Doesn't matter what race you are, you're a foreigner. You can't get into a hostess bar with Japanese girls. It does not work. And then if you want to pay for bucks, you can only pay for non-Japanese women. It doesn't matter what race you are. You're not Japanese. You can't do that. That's the way the systems work.
Yeah.
Times are changing. Ozzy, times are changing. No, they're what? You think they speak Chinese now or something? No, man. They've been this way since, like, for the last 300, 400, 500 years. They're not changing. For heaven's sakes. I have to go there and see this again. I got to see what's going on.
Yeah, if you're obviously I enjoyed my trip out there, but there were some things I didn't like what was going on there. Particularly in Tokyo. I'm kind of just like, do we arrive Tokyo completely? Because I feel like it's just becoming a bit
No.
too Western, a bit too
But
Americanized.
do you
A lot of
understand
sex
what's
over
really?
there.
Do you understand what's really going on? Well, they have a population decline in Tokyo, so you really can't see they're getting their freak on with a population decline, right? I would say I want to go there and talk and actually see what's going on. I can read the signs. I can go and say, oh, this is what's really going on. What's really happening. What if there were Japanese girls selling bucks on the street? I would assume that there would be, what can I say, a local syndicate enforcer walking down the street, and that guy would actually be directing traffic, if you know what I mean. So that's why I wouldn't even go. I wouldn't even walk down that street, even if it's called a McDonald's. Because I'd be too worried about the enforcer. I saw your stream when you were in Kabukicho. Like I saw the first level, and there's a McDonald's right there. There's also what is a First Kitchen is there. I remember eating there. That's some good hamburgers. It's like it was pretty good there, right? So I remember what was on that street. There was a bunch of strange down there. I didn't want to walk down there at night. It was weird. That's where they get some, I don't know, things I don't want to talk about. So that's just the way it was. It says, what about the Nigerian bouncers? Nigerian bouncers were in Roppongi. You don't have Nigerians controlling areas in Japanese, and that's what the street syndicates are for. Nigerians aren't there controlling any street like that. No, man. They're there. If Nigerian bouncers would be there to help promote a bar or something like that, they're not. That's about it. They don't have any power.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely track Japan a lot more closely because things are changing there from what I saw, and it's for the good and for the worse as well. But we'll see. But it's a shame this is happening in Tokyo, Japan. It's a big shame. Shout out to talk about it now. Like I feel there's high rates of promiscuous activity going on in Japan and Tokyo, but I'll speak about it with you later and maybe in a different stream because it's just something's gone off there in that country that I just I need to dig in more. Why aren't you in Chance Darius for the support? Why aren't you going to the suburbs in Thailand? I have no interest in Thailand, if I'm honest with you, bro. Me personally. I just don't really like that country. I like it, but I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in that country to go to. Shout out to Mr. Duck Distant for the support. An outwardly religious woman will Bible thump her way out of submitting to any man in a relationship. A wise, inwardly pious woman recognizes the biological hierarchy and moral imperative of having a family with a good man. That's facts. Can we still find that second bunch of women? I hope so. Shout out to Mr. Darius Chemis for the support. What about women in Sapporo, Sendai, Nagoya, Tottori, Kita, Kyushu, and Kagoshima? Yeah, I think they'll be much different from Tokyo chicks. Much better. I think Tokyo woman, I would avoid. If she's born and raised in Tokyo, I wouldn't wife her up. High body count. I know that sounds like a crazy statement, but I would avoid Tokyo chicks that's born and raised there. Would you agree with that, Theo? Right?
I always said country girls.
Mm.
Like Edoko, we call them Edoko. Edoko are good for learning, getting technique down. That's about it. But the country girls were the best ones there. There's a lot of them in Tokyo. So, but I mean, there's a lot of Thai girls there too. So, I love dating Thai in Tokyo. They were great. So,
Let me
but yeah, good.
Before I go on to the next one to react to, right? You know, I think I mentioned earlier in the stream where it's always good, right, to don't come across as judgmental when you deal with women, whether she's Western or foreign, because you want to get the truth out of her. Okay, so feel right. there's this chick, right? Foreign chick that I came across, right? And on the surface, she appears wholesome, but now when I deal with women, I come across as just judgmental. So I've seen some red flags here. I look at her profile picture on her messaging app. I see two dudes there. I'm like, why are you taking pictures of two dudes? Red flag. And I know that sounds a bit too extreme there, but those are the signs you got to look at. You know, the picture she takes, is she with men in the pictures? I see two dudes there, okay? And then, you know, she's also a countryside girl. So I think, okay, she's not from the city, she's countryside, okay, right? But she's been in rare cities in Asia. Okay, cool. And then, right, okay, I find out that, you know, so we were discussing SCX. It just came out randomly, okay? And I just said, right, that, you know, in the UK, right, women who sleep around, you know, naughty women. These are just naughty women. It's like, oh, she's like, oh, why are they naughty IP? Red flag. Okay? Red flag. Okay? Because when I say naughty, I mean 3 or 4s, but I can't say 3 or 4 because she won't know what it means. And then I find out that someone I know has already slept with her. Another red flag. Okay? This is why when you're dealing with women, right, never come across as judgmental. You want to get the full picture. Because if she came across me and she had that hint that IP judges woman, IP is very serious. If IP finds out I do that, you know, he won't date me. Because apparently she did like me, but I was still on the edge here. I don't know much about her. That's why I moved now, bruv. You're not gonna get me, you 3 or 4s. You're not gonna play me, bruv. I'd rather be alone than date a 3 or 4. And this is why it's very important to have actual discipline. Some of you dudes, you just smash her and dash or stay with her because you're getting regular bucks. Me, I don't give a damn, bro. If you're a 3 or 4, if I get any inkling of a 3 or 4, I don't want you near me. And that's the power of actual discipline. And that's what makes a powerful man. Don't just sleep with chicks because you want to get your rocks off, bro. I know we're men, okay? But if she's the wrong woman, you're screwed. Ain't that right for you, bro?
Yeah, I don't do anything with I don't say I don't do anything with if a woman's a 3 or 4. That's I just don't care about them. When I was in Japan, of course, I exercised extreme discipline because you know you don't know where things are going to go. You know, things can happen there, so you just have to keep your eyes open and vet. That's it. We'll see what happens.
Facts, absolute facts, man. It ain't a game to me, and luckily I have actual discipline. I ain't just gonna smash any chick because she's good looking or you know I'm in the mood. If you're 3 or 4, if you're a low value woman, you keep the hell away from me. Shout out to Darius for the support. When will Theo go to the suburbs in Thailand?
I've been there. That was some wild, like Kabukicho is bad, but man, the Thailand, that's on a next level in terms of aggression, and like that's just so. Yeah, it's kind of like reminds me of Vegas. I'm not gonna be there for a while, that's for sure. I was gonna do Zoom to Thailand. I was gonna do Zoom Fest, but I have to stay here. I'm getting government clearance right now, so I can't go. So that's just what it is.
Okay. Shout out to Eric Mogadishu for the support. Just got my cert, one step closer to remote life. Donna cert nandeska. Oh, sorry. What cert, bro, did you get? Donna cert to nandeska. So what was the cert, bro? Got.
No, just donna cert deska. Kinchiku. I think it's donna kinchiku deska.
Kinchiku cert.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I think I think my Japanese is bad there. Maybe I forgot what that is. But yeah, just don't kinchiku desu.
Awesome. So next one to react, okay? So present, share screen, and share screen over here, okay? So it says here, right? Okay. Trump's MAGA insiders want anti-woke driven Africa policies. Interesting. So it says here, right? Advisors close to President-elect Donald Trump are pushing for a renewed U.S. Africa policy, which focuses on deals and deterrence and rolls back some of what they see as overly progressive or woke diplomacy under the Biden White House. Good riddance. Trump, who is set to return for a second term in January, is widely expected to be more transactional in his style of leadership, an approach he is expected to apply in his White House dealings with African states. But two people who spoke to Summer for Africa on condition of anonymity because they have not been permitted to speak for a transition team, emphasized that many deals will also be part of an approach to enforce more deterrence to conflicts around the continent. Another marked difference will be what one person described as God, that word, and guns, because I want to look at the flipping YouTube policy approach to U.S. African diplomacy. This would involve promoting evangelical Christian conservative interests and reversing some of the pro-rainbow policies championed by the Biden White House. I told y'all, Biden White House tried to promote rainbow stuff in Africa and the Caribbean. You see why we had to get them out of there, particularly in its dealings with countries like Uganda, which last year passed anti-rainbow legislation. Okay, with regards to guns, the person noted there's also an interest from some who seem keen on diplomatic postings in Eastern and Southern Africa for game hunting opportunities. Well, so it says here, right? Trump's first term US Africa policy was overwhelmed by reports of a dismissive attitude towards Africans, most notoriously for his reference to S-hole countries. It's like that, Trump. I remember that. He called them S-hole countries. But it was also a time when the US began stepping up its efforts on rivaling China on the continent. This included an overhaul of the US development finance structure by creating the International Development Finance Corporation, which had a budget twice of that of its predecessor. Okay, the administration is going to be very pro-business because they see Africa as opportunity, as Trump himself has mentioned in the past. Okay, awesome. So Trump's approach to Africa will take a different turn. Okay, less woke, more capitalist. More time spent in developing Africa or helping develop Africa. Theo, what's your thoughts on this article?
Let's see what he does. The change of policy is good. Let's just hope that he doesn't insult them. I mean, so it's probably, I can see him again having that policy great, and then turning around and saying, all you people want to swim to our shores and we don't like you. I mean, I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, you're just doing so well. Now you have to say that? I mean, that could happen. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. At least Biden's policy will be ceased. Will be stopped. That's good. Let's start there and hope for the best.
Facts, absolute facts, man. With Trump's coming into power, less woke policies pushed out on numerous foreign countries. America uses its money, under Biden. Hey, you want our money? You want our resources? We need y'all to push that agenda forward. No more of that. If Africa doesn't want to adopt rainbow ideology and rainbow agenda, they are perfectly entitled to not adopt it. Okay? And we don't want to happen in Africa or the Caribbean. Keep rainbow agenda away from Africa, the Caribbean, Asia, and every other country. Okay, we know that has infiltrated America. We don't want it to infiltrate every other nation all around the world. It's that simple. Okay, so no more woke stuff. No more of that. No. Okay, we want reality. We want real policy and we want reality. We want things to move for nations who are less developed all around the world. No more bribery. Okay? Real stuff. Ain't no game out here, bruv. So shout out to Trump, shout out to MAGA, shout out to Trump's winning in the election. We're still saluting Trump for that incredible win. Ain't that right, Theo?
Oh yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great win. But again, let's see what he does. I hope for the best with this. At least the rainbow policy has ceased in this environment, which is good. Let's see what happens next.
Awesome. Trump 2024. Let's get it. Fantastic. All right. So let's react to. Okay, I've got a South Korea clip. Let's see here. Video file. Okay, let's try this clip over here.
Now,
So this here is about why Korean women do not want to have kids. That's a shame because I know Theo loves his Korean chicks.
because until now it's considered as women's work. When women give birth, there are some of the companies that give penalties to women because they need to constantly think about their kids, take care of the kids. They will not be able to, focus on their work.
What kind of penalties do they give out?
For example, you would not go to the department that you want to go. You would not be able to do the job or project that you want to do it dearly. They would say, you have a kid, you need to take care of your kid, don't you? And then you would be out from the project. Worst cases could just make them quit. There were several cases like that, and that's why the career disruption happens in women's life when they give birth. So if they quit their job, what are they going to do? Where would they go? I think that is the reason why Korean females do not want to actually give birth.
Ooh, Theo. So what's your thoughts on that clip there in terms of the reasons why, according to her words, why a lot of Korean women don't want kids? And it's kind of linked to career. So they have kids, they may get fired or they may not get where they want to go in their career or focus on their work. Do you feel like Korean women are too capitalist here? Or is it the Korean company's fault here for not making concessions for Korean women, brother? What's your thoughts here?
Well, Japan is entirely the same. If you're in Japan, you get pregnant, you're expected to leave the country. Sorry, leave the company. So they expect you to quit pretty quickly and then raise your child. So remember, only 2%, less than 2% of mothers in Korea and Japan are single mothers. So there's a man around. He's supposed to be paying the bills. You're supposed to be staying at home with the child. That's the way it works. If you want to do some other work while you're at home, you better be taking care of your kids first. I personally like this, to be honest. But I can see what the woman's position is, and she still wants to work. I mean, I get that. So when the child gets to a certain age, a lot of women do want to go back into the market, and they try to do some sort of work. It's a good thing. I don't have a problem with this. But I do have a problem if a woman gives birth and then she's thinking about going back to the workplace after 6 months. I think that's not only inhumane to the mother, but also inhumane to the child. So she should be properly taken care of for at least 2 years and then think about going back if she wants.
Interesting. But, a lot of these Asian companies don't see it that way. Would you say that Asian companies are a bit too ruthless in terms of a woman gets pregnant, leave the company, go and raise a kid? Do you feel like a lot of Asian companies, because that's not happening in America or in the Western Europe. There's a lot of, policies that are very, favorable towards women when they have kids or are pregnant, okay, maternity leave, they come back, etc., etc. In these East Asian countries, I'm assuming there's less of those kind of favorable policies over there. Should we blame them?
I look at the U.S. as being absolutely brutal in this environment. I'm just straight up being honest. Yeah, because you have American women driving themselves to the hospital giving birth than taking their baby home the next day and then working within 2 days.
Damn.
That is brutal. I look at American women and like, how are you doing this? Because they have to pay the bills. That is hard. So what the Korean women are having is a much better situation. But like again, they don't have to work. It's an option. Whereas the American woman has to work. How many of them? Millions of them have to work right after giving birth. Or they're not going to pay their bills. That Korean woman's going to have her bills paid. So are the Japanese one. So I don't. Now, man, this is an issue of preference. That's all.
So, but you're saying that the system in Asia works better than the system in America, in your honest opinion?
Yes. Yeah, Koreans in particular, a lot of them go to, like, they have a special hospital where for the first month, the new mother is entirely cared for. So she doesn't have to cook. They cook all of her food for her. They help her take care of her child. They do all the cleaning for her, everything. The only thing she has to do is basically breastfeed. That's it, and love her child. That's it. No work involved. A lot of American women, man, shoot, they kill people for that. Sorry, I never said the word, but they delete me. Like that would be an amazing situation. That's like fantasy to have. That's what Korean women get. So, I mean, let's just put that in perspective. She's saying basically, hey, look, after I get pampered after getting birth, I want to go back to the workplace. I mean, I get that, but she doesn't have to. That's the first thing. Try to work it out, see what's possible. You know, kind of remote work. Also, you know that working in Korea and Japan, you're going to be working a lot of hours. You're not working 9 to 5. You start working at 9. You stop working when the work is done. That's it. It's hard.
So when we apply this to a passport bro perspective, right? It's a passport bro marries a Japanese woman or Korean woman. She gets pregnant. She has a child. She'll be out of work, right? So, brothers, you're saying you agree it's very important for a guy before he impregnates a woman, right, to have his ish in order. He should have investments. He should be in IT. He should be, earning, good money. He should just have money on the side, right, like a child fund to raise the kids and pay the wife's bills, be there for his wife, pay the stuff and be a husband, and a father to the kids while she's at home. But obviously, you wouldn't have the income there to do so, right? That's why when you say going monk mode and just getting the certs, getting the experience, improving your skills, investing over a couple of years, compound interest, right? You're doing that for your future kid and your future wife. Is that a fair statement for you?
I would say this for passport bros: if you're in Japan or Korea and you get a girl pregnant and you're not either willing to support her or you're not willing to marry her, you can, I would say about a 95% likelihood that child's going to be deleted. She's not even going to pay attention to this. She's not going to have your child. So if you want a proper result, you need to go and do the right thing, which is to buy a ring and marry the woman, and then work to death in order to provide for her. If not, say goodbye to Junior.
Interesting. Awesome. Brothers, man, get to it, man. Have a 5-year plan, have a plan to see where you want to be in life. You want to get married, want to have kids, work towards that. Always work towards the future. Think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. Do you want a kid? Start working towards that, bro. Because you never know. Okay. So I want to react to this article over here. Okay. And I think it's very interesting because it just kind of spurs discussions here in terms of antitrust, which I'm hopefully, I think you may be aware of this Google lawsuit from the government field. So share screen as a tech bro, share screen and share screen. Okay. So it says here, Theo, right? Department of Justice. Chrome must split off from Google. Android is no longer on a chopping block in Google antitrust case. Okay, it says here, right? Federal antitrust officials are trying to force Google to sell off its Chrome web browser as part of an antitrust ruling, and are no longer targeting an Android sell-off, according to a new report from Bloomberg. The judge is also being asked to force Google to implement new rules around Google's AI and Android tech. Okay, wow. The changes and proposed resolutions come months after the judge ruled in August that Google's search engine is a monopoly in the case, which was brought forth by the US Department of Justice in 2020. Chrome is reportedly a primary concern for the antitrust regulators because they see it as a main way to access Google search. Wow. So it says here, right? Google VP of Regulatory Affairs, Leanne Mullahard, has rejected the government's arguments, calling their plans a radical agenda that goes far beyond the legal issues in this case, and claiming the government is putting its thumb on the scale to harm consumers. Google Chrome makes up 61% of the browser market in the US and is also the most used. Apple Safari comes in second, okay? And then Edge, Firefox, etc., okay? Whereas, so it says, Chrome has a number of Google integrations, letting users sign in from the Google accounts, which includes Gmail, Google Drive, etc. So it was found that Google search engine field, right, has a monopoly in the search engine space. And the government's trying to get Google to sell off some assets to make it fairer. Theo, what's your thoughts on the government's ruling there? Do you think that it's going to happen? Do you think they're going too far? What's your thoughts here, bro?
I personally don't like this. I don't like this at all. I think this is ridiculous. I mean, on my computer right now, I have Chrome, Safari, and Brave browser. I use Google. I use Google search on all three by default. I don't like other search engines. I use Yahoo for years. Google was just better. I went to Google. What they're saying right now is crap as far as I'm concerned. I'm not too happy with this. I'm like, if it doesn't break, then why? Like, if it's not broken, why fix it? I think it's a very good service. I don't know how this is gonna look. If there's another company, I mean, okay, but like what Aaron is saying there, you can use it from any browser. So, I mean, if I'm using Brave, I'm just going to go ahead and use Google. If I'm using Edge, I'm going to use Google. Hey, Safari, why don't you improve your browser? I don't like your browser, Safari. It's been really irritating. I like Chrome and I like Brave. There's another one I was using for a while also. I forgot what it was. But Brave is actually rather good. I use Google for both, right? So I don't know. It's kind of like saying black men you can't like blondes. I mean, what? Stop that one. I like blondes. Is the way it is. Well, no, you can't like blonde anymore. Sorry, blondes have too much of a monopoly over black men's fantasies. Really? That's what I was just like. I'm just making a joke like that. But I mean, if that's what I want to use, that's what I want to use.
Facts. I think it's going too far. I think it's to me this is definitely a radical agenda. How can you? So I think they at first wanted to get Google to sell off its search engine. Why would Google sell off its search engine, which is its main bread and butter, Google search? In my opinion, right, Google search is obviously better than Bing and every other web service. So you can't fault a company that simply made a better product. If it's a better product than every other product, it's a better product, and most people use that product. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's advertised better as well. We can't blame Google for making a better product. Now, it was found that Google was paying Apple and Firefox, I think $20 billion a year to have it as its default search engine on their phones. Now, there I definitely disagree with. I think okay, that is a monopoly there. If you're paying for that to have you as a default browser on a particular popular phone, a brand, that would be a problem. But now trying to get them to set up their Chrome browser and their search engine, going too far. Now,
Uh,
will, do you think that they'll be successful in splitting up Google, or will this fall on their heads?
I think they're nuts to even consider this because, for the most part, you have to choose which browser you're going to use. So, I mean, how many times is the default browser Bing? I'd have to go up to the top and actually type in Google
Mm.
in order to go to Google. I'm like, why did you do that? Bing doesn't know what it's doing. I hate Bing. Bing, give me a better search environment. Same for Yahoo. Give me a better one. The reason why we use Google is because it's so good. That's why it has the market dominance. But we have to choose it every time. And again, like I just said, how many times is the default search engine is a different one or a different browser? And we go through the system settings, we change it to Google or change it also to Chrome and or both, right? How many times do we do that? That's normal, right? So how could they say that's market dominance? That's crazy. That's like Nintendo coming in like I don't know. No, I don't like this, man. This isn't grooving with me right now at all.
Facts. And I kind of blame Google for it because I think that this lawsuit happened under Trump, and I think obviously Trump had a problem with Google. He blamed them for censoring some results about Trump, and hopefully they've learned the lesson. Be neutral when it comes to politics. Don't try and pick sides. And all the tech companies need that wake up call. And if Google's a monopoly, right? What about Microsoft? Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Literally every other company and everyone uses that. So why isn't Microsoft being sued for having a monopoly on these productivity applications? So tell me what the alternative is, right, to Microsoft Word. Realistically, there isn't.
Google
There is.
Doc.
No one uses
Google
that bullshit. Sorry, no one uses that stuff. Theo, right? Come on, bro. No one uses that
I use
stuff.
it in class. I use it in class. Open Office. You can do that.
No one uses that, man. Come on, bro.
No, you could Open Office is used, but I only use Open Office when I'm poor. I don't have any money. That's it. I'm being honest. That's the only time I use it. Most of the time, if I have money, which is almost all the time now, I pay $6 a month to use Microsoft Office. I have an Office 365 account, of course. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, of course I use Office Suite. I don't mind it. I really don't. It gives me what I want. When I was using Open Office, it wouldn't open up correctly with Word, and they always ask me to reformat it. I had to reformat it again and again. So then I would just do it with with Word. I have notes on my Mac right now. Of course, I got notes, right? And you can save it as a Microsoft document, and it's. I like using notes though, but I use it for my diary or something like that. But do you use it professionally? I don't use notes professionally. So yeah, you have a point that Office has as a domination. Well, let's take a talk about cloud, right? So if we're talking about IAM and AD, Azure wins. Every company has Azure, right? It has the monopoly. So if you're using like AWS or GCP, more likely than not, your actual AD service is going to be Azure, and it's going to be extended over into the cloud, right? Does that mean Microsoft has a monopoly? No, but it effectively does. That's just the way it is. I don't mind it. I don't like it. As long as I don't have to use PowerShell, I'm good. Hey, we can use Git Bash. Git Bash does everything we need to do. Okay, that's good. That's not do anything more than that.
Facts. Absolute facts, man. All right, stop sharing here. All right, so that is the end of the stream. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for watching. Phil, do you have any closing statements, bro, before we end the stream?
Again, it's a good stream. I would say, again, talking about image of for us as Black men, I do hope that Africa, Black Africa, our Africa, has at least one country that is full on first world by the time we die, and I hope it's Tanzania or Ethiopia or Kenya, and I think that they have that opportunity to actually do it. It'd be really wonderful if that happened. I don't have much hope. The more realistic is that Brazil becomes truly first world. It's advancing right now. It's not first world yet. It's second world, but it feels first world-ish. So I hope that Brazil can be first world. So it would be nice, but I gotta depend on my own strength for now. So guys who are on the stream, again, you guys are good, or you guys are fair. You guys want to do the language, you want to be the passport bro, go learn the language. Again, you should see all the books I got. Look, hold on, look at this one. Prepositions in Spanish, past tense in Spanish, right? I got the books. I'm putting in the work, and I always say to you guys, "Are you putting in the work?" I know it doesn't look easy, but do the time, and you will actually get the dime. All right.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, bro. Thank you, everyone. Shout out to Phil. And we shall see you, brothers, next week. Brothers, make sure you please get me to 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. Okay, so here's my Kick in the chat. If you want those streams in regards to Japan, Spain, and Germany, get me to 100 followers on Kick. Okay, get me to 100 followers on Kick and Twitch. Okay, have a nice week ahead, brothers, and I'll see you